You're the reason why I am my way. You're the reason why I rip my shirts, why I eat at the buffet. Butter, you got your very own kind of nice. We all live inside a butter world. Oh, butter, gonna eat it by the stick tonight. Gonna eat out this world. Oh, butter, I'm about to take a bite, 'cause I want that salty cream, what I dream about all night. Butter dreaming, I'm about to take a bite, 'cause I want that salty cream, what I dream about all.
Welcome everyone to a Monday Night Live Buttercast with Butterfueled. I am your host Jay, and my brother, Mr.
I'm
Anderson.
Anderson. What's going on? And I'm on the road. We're out here conquering new lands. Butterfuel is
Excellent.
expanding, taking over the world.
nice soil, nice farmland, all the way there. Where
Oh,
Mr.
yeah.
Anderson is visiting.
Sure. Yeah, I'm totally just not working on my tan all day long.
doing research to set up the next Star Fort.
That's right. That's right. You know, we're here in the land of Bitcoin, man.
Yeah. Yeah.
Shout out to the president.
Bitcoin as a currency.
Yeah.
It's a legal tender. Is the term that they want to call it.
That's right. Bitcoin, beef, butter, barbells, Batman. All good things start with B. I'm not going to name any plant foods that start with B.
I don't know any plant foods that start with B.
Me neither.
I forgot about all of them.
Yeah. But all good things start with B. Courtney says, yo!
Yo! Awesome.
Shout out, Courtney. Thanks for tuning in for another episode.
We have Homeland Security joining us.
Yeah, Homeland Security is in the house. Everyone. Everything said in this episode is complete satire. Please don't take anything as medical advice. And we have a great show for you planned as always. You know, make sure, before we start, make sure you like, share, subscribe, do all of the things. Leave a comment below for the YouTube algorithm. Go to our Instagram, go like and share all of our content. Our Instagram page is currently under attack by the seed oil algo lords. Seed oils are good for you. Make sure you check out our previous Monday Night Live episode. 5 reasons seed oils are good for you. And then, you know, last week we released the liver maxing, dangers of liver maxing segment. That was from another episode number 6. You know, not a popular topic. Lots of people have pushed back. That's okay. We don't have a product to sell you, so we can say whatever we want. So
yeah. Like if you look at the adoption curve of like a new product, right? You know, there's the early adopters, there's like the bulk one, and then there's like late stage adopters. So, you know, we've crossed the early adopters, they've dropped off. We've crossed a bunch. We're probably in the middle to late stage of the liver adoption, but it's gonna wane off. It's gonna fall off because it's just not sustainable.
I hope so. I mean, it's more like a meat grinder, in my opinion. You know, kind of like veganism, just churning through people, finding new people to churn through, and you know, it's not being addressed. But anyways, yeah. If you're interested in that, check out the episode. This episode's not about that.
Yeah.
And follow us on Twitter, TikTok, Instagram, and on YouTube. Make sure to turn on notification bells so you don't miss a single piece of content. You know, and join our Discord group. It's completely free. We hold Zoom meetings live every Wednesday. Well, we hold Zoom meetings like with you in real time. And we can discuss nutrition, fitness, and beyond, right? Way, way beyond.
Yeah.
Yeah, because all the crazy stuff that is going on and how we can organize to protect ourselves.
Yeah.
All right. Anything else, Jay? Any other updates?
Any other updates? No, no. Let's get started.
Awesome.
Let's get it. All right. So we're gonna be talking about the Ohio train derailment and sit-ups February.
Yeah. What's going on with the derailment?
Excellent question. So yeah, just as a reminder, right now we're still in February, still pushing through a lot of abs, a lot of crunches, a lot of sit-ups. Uh, you'll see an update very soon, but the goal is 25 sit-ups or any sort of crunch or abs for the day, per day. But obviously, people are blasting 200 or more because they just want to win, which is very interesting. So yeah, you can participate in our on our Discord, as my brother was saying. You can join our Discord and we can hang out. We have weekly check-ins on Zoom on Wednesdays. Time is sometimes 8 p.m. Eastern or 9 p.m. Eastern. Um, it switches between those two times. Here's the leaderboard update. We have Big D Darren with 3,300 sit-ups, uh,
Oh,
which is insane. Nadia with 2,500, Joy with 2,100, Timbo all the way up there with 1,900, Astro Trevo 1,000, Lady Dolan 765. Then just below that, myself, Serena Carnivore 580, Anderson 550, Coastal Carnivore 380. Coastal Carnivore is just not performing this month. He's a push-up champion. He's a squat champion, but abs, he's falling behind. We have we have Courtney 280 sit-ups, nice, and OG Sharkbait 150 sit-ups. I think he forgot to do them.
shark bait. Hoo ha ha.
And yeah, just as a catch up, last week we had an episode on saturated fat, the unsaturated oil dilemma, which was pretty good, right? Always covering the topics of saturated fat versus monounsaturated fat versus polyunsaturated fat. And interestingly enough, what we're told that saturated fat doesn't happen, but actually happens with the omega 6s.
Yeah. And why does cholesterol go down when you consume more seed oils, more plant-derived oils, I should say?
Yeah. Yes. There seems to be a regulation, some sort of regulation that happens when you stop having saturated fat and instead have more polyunsaturated fat. Basically saying that if you have normal amounts of saturated fat, if you were having in a carnivore diet, you would probably have normal levels of cholesterol, but these normal levels of cholesterol are likely going to be higher than they currently are because most of your fat is currently coming from polyunsaturated fat. Courtney says, I forgot to do sit ups and also I am lazy. Appreciate the honesty. The day is still young.
Start posting reminders in the group chat. I haven't done them for like a few days.
Yeah.
But because my skin was hurting, my skin is back. Fresh new skin. So I'm going to start crushing like 200 sit-ups every day.
Let's go.
Summer's right around the corner.
Oh yeah, summer's coming up. Summer is coming up. So, on to the topic of the day. The Ohio train derailment, right? So, obviously here we're going to show you a video of the water that is what's it called? Near the area, near Palestine, East Palestine. That's what I was trying to say. All right, I'm gonna hit play. I don't know if you can see this. So you see that those
Like triple rainbow all the way, man.
yeah, you see that? Yeah.
What the heck?
It's just yeah. So the water's poisoned. And yeah, the idea is that you splash it and then all these chemicals, potentially even petroleum itself, is sitting at the bottom. And when you splash this, you're just like raising it up.
Yeah, right. Because yeah, I guess it sits at the bottom and
Yeah.
not at the top, which is
Yeah.
very interesting. I wonder if you can just burn all of that. I mean,
Yeah, no, I mean, people are just gonna drink it, right? And then that's how you get rid of it.
yeah, and yet the EPA will tell you the water is clean. But yeah, how crazy is that? I mean, I've never seen water do that. Oh, Jack, I haven't seen it do that.
No, definitely not. I haven't seen any water that I drink or bathe in do that. So pretty weird.
Yeah, yeah, and of course, this is tied to. I mean, well, it's implied in the tweet, I suppose, that this is tied to the environmental contamination from the train being derailed in East Palestine, Ohio, right?
Exactly.
The train was carrying these lots of chemicals, mainly vinyl chloride is the one we've been hearing about, but there were also many other chemicals present in small amounts. These chemicals, they get used as raw materials for many industrial processes. Vinyl chloride, I mean, obviously for PVC. PVC is used for piping, sometimes just even for like trim, just like building. This is just a building material. People use it for even for walls. It's not just for piping. Some houses are built out of PVC.
Yeah.
Vinyl chloride. What else is it used for? I mean, all sorts of like vinyl materials.
Yeah.
Even like those thin. It's used in adhesives. It's used in films. It's if you have a car, and then probably most of you have a car, the thin layer that goes on the windscreen. There's like a thin film that goes on it. That's made from vinyl chloride. So chemicals are ubiquitous in our life, and as much as we want to demonize them, they're everywhere, and we use them all the time. Of course, this is definitely not okay, and we want to get to the bottom of this. What is going on? What happened? What are they saying happened? And then, of course, what does the Twitter sphere, social media sphere say is happening? And obviously the mainstream is not giving this a lot of coverage, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Indeed.
Yeah. So we found this account called Train Derailment Tracker. They're called at Track Inflation. So I suppose they track many things throughout the year, but now they're tracking the train derailment. But I thought this was interesting because, right, one of the things you should ask yourself is, well, are these events rare, or are we just paying more attention now because of social media? Or is this like actually an extraordinary event? Of course, I'm not saying it's not extraordinary. I'm not saying it's a non-issue. Every single one of these is an issue. And this one has received a lot of attention because of the magnitude of the issue that it is. So from Train Derailment Tracker, in 2023, there has already been 8 train derailments. One spilled 60,000 liters of kerosene, another spilled 10,000 gallons of acid products, including acetic anhydride. The one in Ohio is an ecological complete disaster. BlackRock owns all train operators. Media cover-up. Oh boy. Oh boy. Are there any following tweets? I think it's a whole thread. Another train derailment occurred today. So this one is in Van Buren Township. I'm not sure how old this is, but there's been a series.
February 16th.
There you go. Van Buren. Not sure where that is. I think it's in
Van Buren,
Michigan. Van Buren. We're gonna do a quick search. That's why we do this live, because we fact check ourselves in real time. Michigan, yeah, Van Buren Township, Michigan.
Michigan.
Officials are investigating after a train was derailed. Moving on, 28 January, Louisiana, a train derailed and spilled more than 10,000 gallons of acid products, leading to the evacuation of part of town. 16 cars total derailed, 2 of 16 leaking the chemicals. Officials reported 10,000 gallons of acetic anhydride were spilled. 20 January, Austria. Wow, so we're talking about worldwide events now. 2 freight trains collided in Furnace, Carinthia, spilling approximately 60,000 liters of kerosene. One of the trains burst into flames after the collision. Both train drivers had minor injuries. 25th December, Serbia. In Pirot, a freight train carrying ammonia derailed, causing the ammonia to leak. As a result, 51 people were hospitalized. 8th October, United States. In Sandusky, Ohio, a 101-car Norfolk Southern freight train derailed at speed, dropping 20 tanker cars of paraffin wax into a road underpass. Yikes. 31 August, United States. In El Paso, Texas, a Union Pacific train crashed into a derailment device that was on the train tracks and derailed, killing a train conductor named Mario Navarro. One of the derailed train cars had a gas leak, which made nearby houses evacuate. 9 December, United States. Derailment of 480 Union Pacific cars occurred about half a mile west of Napton, Missouri. 26 August, United States. St. Paul, Minnesota. 3 trains, 1 Union Pacific, 1 Canadian Pacific, 1 BNSF, collided onto each other, spilling chlorine into the river. 1 February 1st, United States. Detroit, Michigan. Train derailed on a bridge, causing train cars to hang over a street below. And then this account proceeds to make the claim that we are under attack. Our supply lines are being taken out.
Wow. Yeah.
Pretty shocking.
Very alarming
news. Yeah, pretty alarming, especially considering just how reliant the U.S. infrastructure is on just like a few select train lines.
Yeah, it's pretty weird.
Yeah. But I guess these events are making people realize how vulnerable our supply chain actually is. Courtney says, those clumsy trains always falling over and spilling their chemicals by accident. Yeah, are they drunk or something? That's what happens when you legalize weed too much.
Yes. So next up, I have a video from this TikTok guy, Nick Drum. So he's an engineer, and he works in this field of engineering. I think I can't remember. It's something chemical engineer or civil engineer, something like that. But he has covered other disasters like this. But he does a pretty good breakdown of what's been going on, and then what are the chemicals. He showed up. Well, he didn't actually himself show up, but he was brought. There was a video of him shown on Joe Rogan. So I kind of then went into his account and then picked a couple of videos that I thought were pretty good. So this one is from February 6th, right? So we're on February 20th. So he posted this, right at the very beginning of when the event happened. So let's have a look.
Yeah, I think the audio is playing.
Yeah, audio's not playing. Oh man, let me see. Live fixing.
That's why we do this live, guys.
That's why we do this live. Wait, I'm gonna play it. Did you hear that?
No, do you hear it?
I do hear it. But that's weird that it's not. So I'm gonna try a different way to share. should be this. All right, let's try again. Yes?
No,
No, the sound's not coming out.
no.
Oh man, that is odd.
Courtney, can you hear it? Is it just me?
Let me see. General. I'm going through the settings right now.
Yeah, yeah. You'll figure it out.
I hope so.
Nick Drum. So this guy was featured on Joe Rogan. That's important. If it wasn't Joe Rogan, it means it's true. They don't want you to find out about it. Well, you know, in events like these, it's hard to discern what is true and what is not true, right? Because again, the mainstream is not going to give this a lot of coverage, but then you'll have all these independent outlets reporting on the matters, and you know, that's where a lot of these issues can come around, where people are not reporting factual information. Go ahead, give it a try. I mean, if you did the changes.
The reporting on this has gotten vinyl chloride confused.
Yeah. Excellent.
Yeah.
All right. So
This hasn't been getting a lot
Alright,
of coverage, and the coverage that it has been getting hasn't been very good. So let's talk about the trail derailment in East Palestine, Ohio. East Palestine's about an hour north of Pittsburgh, almost halfway to Cleveland. Norfolk Southern has a rail line that goes right through town, and this derailment happened right on the edge outside of town on the border of PA and Ohio. Of the cars that crashed, 5 of them contained vinyl chloride. It's a monomer used to make PVC. The reporting on this has gotten vinyl chloride confused with polyvinyl chloride, the polymer made out of vinyl chloride. Now, the reason that this distinction is really important is vinyl chloride is very hazardous and very flammable. Polyvinyl chloride is a plastics that's used in like everything. The other thing about vinyl chloride is that it boils at 8 degrees Fahrenheit, so it's shipped in its liquid form, meaning that when these trains crashed and these started leaking, they weren't just leaking liquid, but they were spewing boiling gas. So vinyl chloride is really toxic. OSHA has the permissible limit of how much you can be exposed to it during an 8-hour shift as a 1 ppm part per million average over
1 part per million on an average of 8 hours. That's a tiny amount. Sorry, I just wanted to highlight that.
over 8 hours. So prior to this, the biggest spill of this chemical was in New Jersey, where one train car and about 23,000 gallons of vinyl chloride were spilled, but it didn't catch on fire. Now, this crash in Ohio has 5 train cars. These kinds of tanker cars can carry between 25 and 33,000 gallons. Let's call it 250 to 250,000 pounds of vinyl chloride. That's per train car, 5 train cars. There's maybe 1 million pounds of this toxic chemical spilling into the ground and also boiling off into the air. But then it caught on fire. I think this is where the reporting is really bad, because no one is mentioning what the byproduct of vinyl chloride burning is. Of the many byproducts of burning vinyl chloride, one of them is hydrogen chloride. Hydrogen chloride is really unstable and latches onto water, like just water vapor in the atmosphere, and that turns into hydrochloric acid. So right now, government officials from the railroad, both the governor of Pennsylvania and Ohio, are calling burning off the 1 million pounds of this stuff a success, but not mentioning that it means that we have hundreds of thousands of pounds of acid in the air, potentially. Now, ever since engineering school, I've studied a lot of industrial accidents. I just find it really fascinating, and organizations like the Chemical Safety Board, NTSB, and OSHA all have like really good reports available to the public. I think as a designer, it's really good to learn about mistakes. When looking at these kinds of industrial disasters across time, there are a couple things that are pretty universal across all of them. One, the responsible party, in this case, Norfolk Southern Railway, always plays down the reality of the situation. Politicians also just repeat the same lines, and then news outlets just repeat the same. So all we're hearing is the responsible party's word.
There you go. So yeah, he started covering this on February 6th, and he has been posting a ton of videos going into more detail, saying that the EPA is releasing more data. The EPA is now sharing all this stuff. So I have a second video.
Yep. Yeah, I don't know this guy, but I already trust him.
Certainly.
Seems pretty-
Yeah, so I mean, it's interesting, right? Because vinyl chloride. There's a distinction between vinyl chloride, and then that this thing boils at 8 Fahrenheit. So it's boiling at room temperature or at normal temperature, right? So this toxic thing is being released, and you can only the recommended threshold is 1 part per million in 8 hours. So
Yeah.
it's insane.
Today, we got definitive evidence that the fire at the Norfolk Southern Rail Line in East Palestine, Ohio, was a bigger deal than they said. At last Wednesday's press conference with the governor, the reporter asked what chemicals were of concern, and this is what the representative from the railroad said.
Obviously, the vinyl chloride that
Vinyl chloride.
we had to burn, and then a little bit of lube oil,
Non-has lube oil, a little bit.
and the butyl acrylate is what a lot of what we're gathering.
So today, the 12th, 4 days later, the EPA released the manifest sent to them yesterday from Norfolk Southern Railroad. This document can be downloaded directly from the EPA's website from the link in my bio. I brought up this non-haz lube oil before because just because it's non-hazardous doesn't mean that it's okay to spill it into the ground. So he said a little bit. Well, their train manifests here because they lost almost 2 full loads. These classes of train cars can carry up to 30,000 gallons. I have another video posted right before this that went into more things that were listed on this list but never previously mentioned. So we know that there have been tens of thousands of gallons of petroleum oil spilled. The question is, how much of it burned? We also know that they've been using back trucks and skimmers to collect more material, but how much have they caught? 1 gallon of petroleum oil can pollute up to 1 million gallons of water. It's going to be really important for us to find out exactly what those petroleum oils were, because most petroleum oils have additives added to them that modify certain characteristics of the product. There are tons of different chemicals that are used for this purpose, but some of them are those forever chemicals, PFAS, that you've heard about.
PFAS.
They don't break down in nature, and they can be harmful to humans even in very small amounts. They can cause developmental issues, immune issues, cancer. What this document shows us is there's kind of 3 levels to this disaster. There was the initial fire, the intentional fire to prevent the explosion of the vinyl chloride tanks, then an oil spill.
Yeah. So the other aspect is the oil spill. It's seems like there's a lot of petroleum just missing too, 2 cars worth. So I just wanted to kind of show those couple videos from him because I thought that they bring a lot to attention.
Absolutely, and I guess we'll just keep on learning more about this as time goes on. But everything he said about the EPA and just like traditional historical chemical accidents, they're very well documented, and agencies like the Chemical Safety Board actually conduct very thorough investigations about the actual accidents. But then, of course, this happens in hindsight, right? How they respond to these accidents is the main concern at the moment. And it seems like they're just trying to shrug it under the rug, and, we have many things to share, but one of them will be like what the EPA is actually saying, and then why that might not be necessarily true, right? So,
Yeah.
Anyhow,
so the next up is an article from the New York Post. Shout out to Courtney for sharing this with us. Animals falling sick, dying near hellish Ohio train derailment site. So, animals falling sick, sparking fears of potential health impacts that crash could have on humans, right? The vinyl chloride, and then plus the other chemicals that are on board, right? Very damaging to the environment. So people, so yeah, it's like, okay, yeah, release all these chemicals. It's gonna be bad for us, right? So people are asking this question, and then what we're getting back is no, it's okay, right? No, the science tells you that the reality that you are perceiving is a lie.
Yeah. Well, hey, maybe they'll come out with a vaccine to undo the side effects.
Oh yes, yes, yes. Miracle cures.
Yeah.
Taylor Holzer, owner of a dairy farm just outside the evacuation zone in East Palestine, um, told WKBN several foxes he keeps on his property have become mortally ill. Right, so these smaller organisms are more impacted before we get impacted. Right, we're definitely more tolerant. We can handle a lot of crap. Uh, out of nowhere, he just started coughing really hard. He had liquid diarrhea and just went very fast. So poor animal, poor fox. Uncharacteristically refused to eat for several days. Smoke and chemicals from the train, that's the only thing that can cause it, because it just doesn't happen out of nowhere. These chemicals are being told as safe in the air. That's definitely not safe for the animals or for the people, right? People are not any different. I mean, we're more resilient, more tolerant, but obviously, if animals are dying, animals are becoming sick from this is by no means healthy, or good for a human. A cocktail of deadly chemicals, including highly toxic vinyl chloride and hydrogen chloride, spilled out after 50 cars of Norfolk Southern Railroad train derailed en route to Pennsylvania. Yeah, inhaling vinyl chloride fumes can induce dizziness, nausea, headache, breathing complications, according to the University of Toledo engineering environmental engineer Professor Ashok Kumar. So this is a picture of the toxic chemicals up in the air. Man, it's so thick. It's
Yeah.
so
Look
thick.
at that cloud. That thing's scary, man.
That's so bad.
That's just like pure evil.
Yes.
This is like the Deepwater Horizon.
Yes. Yeah, it's so bad.
You know, and it's like both ways, right? Because you're getting it in the soil, which
Mm,
it's the water, but then it's also all over the air, and
yeah.
like as the what was his name, the guy from TikTok said, these chemicals, like these gaseous chemicals, are just going to attach to water molecules
Mm,
and just rain down over you. Maybe that's what happened with that water at the start that that Jack Pusobiec had retweeted.
mm, yeah.
How do we know? How do we know? I don't know. It's just something you saw on the internet. That video could be 10 years old for all you know. Or we'll assume it's true.
At the end of the video, the people were like, "Oh, but we're told that the water's not contaminated and it's safe." So it's I would say it's pretty recent. Uh,
Hmm.
it is
Yeah, I'm
noted that
being funny.
yeah, it is noted that this chemical can also cause cancer of the liver and organs. So yeah, basically like any weird compound or anything like weird chemical substance that goes into your body is going to make weird stuff happen, and that weird stuff is classified as cancer. Breathe those in under heavy conditions and it's really bad for you. It's like acid mist. It's not something you want to be around in high concentrations. And uh, unsafe concentration, as we saw on the first video from TikTok from Nick Drum, he was like 1 part per million over 8 hours. Anything more than that, it's dangerous.
Yeah, imagine you're just getting blasted with it.
Yeah.
But hey, hopefully, hopefully it like dilutes enough, I suppose. I
Yeah,
mean,
man. I don't. Yeah. Yeah. Hopefully, yeah. You're still
just not
getting.
sure. Yeah, not sure what appropriate course correction would be for a disaster of that magnitude, and just to what extent, just how far would it stretch?
Yeah.
These are the questions people have. These are the questions I have, and we just don't know.
Yeah, I mean, how do you heal? How do you heal the land, the air, nature?
Yeah, gotta start growing some hemp all around.
Yeah, yeah. So yeah, the EPA has been conducting constant air monitoring tests that did not show any toxic threats, and residents were told it was safe to return to their homes after 3-day mandatory evacuation.
Cool.
Right.
Pretty good. Pretty good.
Yes, right. 3 days, and that's it. Uh, uh, my video camera footage shows my chickens were perfectly fine before they started this burn, and as soon as they started this burn, my chickens slowed down and they died. If it can do this to chickens in one night, imagine what it's going to do to us in 20 years, right?
Oh
So
God.
it's gonna stay there for a long while. Yeah. So now that they're talking about a previous spill of vinyl chloride in New Jersey, 2012, uh, is is not known whether short-term exposure to vinyl chloride can cause long-term health effects. I mean, okay, cool, but yeah, vinyl chloride can affect a person's liver, kidney, lungs, spleen, nervous system, and blood. People exposed to extremely high levels may have increased risk of miscarriage and birth defects. Damage to male sperm inducing programs has occurred in laboratory animals.
Yeah,
So not good.
not good. I mean, you know how one person supposedly consumes an average of a credit card's worth of plastic in a week? This is probably like 10 to 100 times that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right, the next source.
Oh yeah. So I just wanted to cover, what is the mainstream doing, right? What is the Washington Post saying about this? So I have here. How do I get rid of this? An article that they posted.
Did you see that?
What?
You see what it said? The ad? It said
No.
a guide to climate conscious cooking.
Climate conscious cooking.
Yeah, eat only regeneratively raised beef. Ground
Yeah,
beef and eggs is what it said, of course.
pretty much. Don't use gas stoves, right?
Yeah.
Uh,
All right, let's see what they say.
yeah. So here they're just narrating a story of what's happening. So I'm just gonna be jumping through and through. So yeah, February 3rd, they have a clip here of the train, and you can see the flames. They highlight the flames. It repeats pretty quickly. Over here, flames observed 20 miles from derailment site. So this happened February 3rd, minutes before the derailment. Sparks and flames underneath one of the cars, and that may have caused mechanical problems, and that's why it caused the accident. This is a video drone footage of February 3rd, right? So we are on February 20th. The guy from Nick Drummond covered it on February 6th, saying it's not getting the proper coverage. But people started catching on to this and asking for more answers, and that's why it's now more present in the news, that the Washington Post has to cover it finally on February 18th, right? Approximately 50 cars derailed in a town of 4,700 residents, just half a mile of the state border of Pennsylvania. 11 cars contain hazardous materials, vinyl chloride, the cancer-causing substance. Vinyl chloride is harmful. And then February 6th, that's when they, 3 days later after the crash, that's when you actually started getting the controlled burn or controlled release, they want to call it, right? Use how they use. Look at how they use language. Controlled release. Yeah, let's just burn this, man. Let's just do a controlled release. Or an explosion sending toxic plume into the air. So here we have a pretty good picture of, of the site. Common plastics on these cars, according, right. So here we're obviously trusting that they're labeling things correctly. An empty car, okay, yeah, right. Vinyl chloride. So these are the ones that were burned, supposedly. Dipropenyl glycol.
That empty car probably had like some super mutant, super villain that just like broke free, and they just don't want to let you know yet.
Yeah, he had a monster from the X-Men or something.
There's like carrying like, I don't know, Venom or Hulk. Who knows?
Oh man, it's a real cover-up story. Well, this is the real missing piece.
Yeah,
right?
Hopefully Deadpool.
Deadpool.
Great.
Semolina, polyvinyl PVC, ethyl acrylate in using adhesives, petroleum lubricating oil, and then various other products, petroleum. So yeah, just a bunch of stuff here. More vinyl chloride. That's kind of weird how it's up over there, then now it's down over here. And then some steel sheets, cotton balls, and frozen vegetables, and benzene.
Oh, how lovely.
Benzene is definitely not good. Doesn't seem to be catching the headlines.
Yeah.
Let's see. About 3,500 fish died. So yeah, the water's safe, right?
Yeah, how can you believe that, right? Animals and fish are dying, but you're good.
Yeah, the air's safe. The water's safe. Oh, low levels of chemical butyl acrylate, okay, have been detected on multiple samplings. Pose no risk to drinking water. I mean, how about not drinking any butyl acrylate? Is that a huge ask? I don't care if it's low levels. How about 0?
Oh wait, show that map.
Oh, this map. Yeah.
That shows you where the chemicals are being detected along the Ohio River. So East Palestine being just like what is that, northwest of Pittsburgh, and then now it's just all just being washed down across Ohio and West Virginia. So if I understand this correctly, the river flows south, right?
Yeah.
So any and all regions surrounding the river are at risk, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Probably all the way down to the Gulf.
Yeah. Yeah, man, it's tough. And yeah, they have like butyl acrylate detected, right? It's so weird. They just label this specific one, right? Out of like, I don't know how many, 3 other different hazard chemicals aside from vinyl chloride. And they say, oh, it was detected here, red dot, detected, red dot. And the white ones, sampling site with no detection, right? Were they sampling correctly, or were they purposely trying to avoid a bad sample? Right? Then detected down here, red dot detected.
Just testing for the butyl acrylate.
Exactly. Pungent odor remains. We'll uncover contamination that may spray into the soil and groundwater. The process will take as long as it takes. Oh, thank you, Ann Vogel, Director of Ohio EPA. There are concerns that pollution could be pervasive and questions about how widely contaminated may have spread through the plume of the smoke during the controlled chemical release. For now, authorities say air is safe to breathe and municipal water is safe to drink.
Yeah, for now, the threat might creep up later.
Yes. So the Washington Post is just basically telling you we're just going to repeat what the authorities are saying, uh, which is kind of sad. You would hope for more journalistic investigation of. We just released a bunch of chemicals. Let's actually test it ourselves, right? We're a news organization, and these are people's lives.
Yeah, so what do we have here now?
USA Today,
USA
fact
Today.
check, man. So this is the hard truth. This is the mainstream media hard truth posted on February 16th. So
Yeah, don't you dare make any claims outside of this.
yes, if your thought derails from anything stated here, you're living a lie. Okay, so prompted an array of false and misleading claims on social media, where posts built on speculation, assumptions, or outright falsehoods accumulated thousands of shares and millions of views.
Of course.
So, what are these accusations? Let's maybe they can bring it up. Left tracks, okay. 38 cars derailed and damaging another 12 cars, total of 50. 20 cars carrying hazardous materials, 11 of which derailed. Residents were evacuated, and then due to the threat of possible explosion, authorities chose to breach 5 tankers filled with vinyl chloride, sending hydrogen chloride and phosphogene and toxic gas into the air. Cool. Much is not known about the long-term impact of the spill, but here's what we do know at some point about some of the claims circulating the most online. Okay. The Ohio River is being poisoned. Okay. That the claim overstates the extent to which hazardous chemicals have been detected at the river at this point. Low levels of butyl acrylate make their way up the Ohio River through Little Beaver Creek, a tributary near the border between Ohio and Pennsylvania, according to the Ohio EPA agency. Okay, so that's it.
Yeah, just testing for butyl acrylate.
Yeah, they're just testing for butyl acrylate. They themselves say there's other chemicals in there. It's just stuff. It's just hard to pronounce, and it may or may not be hazardous. It's not okay to spill or drink.
Yeah.
So
all right, let's keep going. Keep going.
all right, keep
to
pushing.
cover.
Fact check. False claim that a massive death plume is raining down hydrochloric acid in Ohio. Experts previously said the plume of contaminants was moving along the Ohio River through Lee, added the chemical gets less concentrated as it travels downstream. The professor of biological science said exposure to the chemical in high doses can cause acute effects on skin, irritation, and breathing. Okay. But he said the water treatment systems and the latest EPA indicate that these concentrations are not a level of public health concern. Okay. So we have experts here to say otherwise. That's a big claim to state that the entire river is poisonous. Depends on local water treatment facility, to remove the water supply. So experts are just saying, hey, all these chemicals spilled, it's not enough to say that it's all poisoned.
Yeah.
Okay. The government has locked down East Palestine. Was under a state of emergency and temporary evacuation orders, but there's no indication citizens are being prevented from traveling out of the town. East Palestine is not on lockdown. I mean, the people were evacuated, and then they were allowed to return 3 days afterwards. All right, I think I'm just gonna stop here and move on to the next tab. East Palestine water quality update.
Yeah, so from the governor of Ohio. This was February 15.
5 days ago.
Yeah. No detection of contaminants in raw water from the 5 wells that feed into the East Palestine's municipal water system. There you go. Very good.
Associated with the derailment. Yeah. EPA is confident the municipal water is safe to drink. Man, I get worried when they, start repeating this stuff.
Yeah, when they say it's safe.
Yeah. It's safe to drink, man.
Yeah. Reverse osmosis water filter systems are going to be a hot item this year.
Yeah.
As they should, man. I mean, at this point.
Yeah, at this point, I mean, you have so many things in the water: chloride, fluoride, PFOS.
Yeah, PFAS,
PFAS,
vinyl
yes.
chloride, and whatever hydrochloric acid, and just like washed down phosgene gas.
Yeah.
Yeah, but basically, the EPA is just telling you they tested the wells, the municipal water system is chilling. All right, let's move on to the next one. I think that's from the EPA source as well. Yeah, so this is where they share like the latest reports, final results February 17. Yeah, well, that's just that's like a 50-page report. Hard to interpret, but
Yeah.
in case look at that one that says latest water sample results of the Ohio River by the Ohio River Valley Water Sanitation Commission indicate no butyl acrylate is being detected. In addition, no vinyl chloride has been detected in the Ohio River. Oh, so first mention of the vinyl chloride not being found in Ohio River. So far we only saw butyl acrylate, but I guess there's a first mentioning of that. I don't know if that should make you feel more at peace or not.
Yeah. Interesting.
Yeah, another say surface water sampling, very low levels of two contaminants, butyl acrylate and ethyl hexyl acrylate. They're saying it dissipates quickly, there's no detection.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe it's just disappears. It doesn't go into the air, it doesn't go into the water. All the animals absorbed it, the animals that died.
The animals took the hit.
Yeah,
Oh,
and the
man.
humans.
And the humans.
They all filtered the air for the EPA.
Oh, man.
Yeah. Now go on to the next source. That's an interesting thread from someone who seems to proclaim they're a water expert. This is Twitter. I have no way to verify his credentials or not, but he makes a pretty compelling case. So they're saying that the local water is wrecked despite what the EPA and authorities are saying. They're committing a lie by omission. All right. So let's see what he's explaining. Multiple endocrine disruptors and genotoxins were released. Vinyl chloride breaks down chromosomes. Butyl acrylate causes nerve damage and miscarriages. Polluted area is large enough that acute exposure is unlikely, but chronic exposure is guaranteed. So very key differentiation there. Acute exposure, right? So the acute exposure, are people getting acute exposure symptoms? Maybe not. Maybe not. Does that mean they're not being exposed? Not necessarily. Does it mean they might just be being chronically exposed and they're going to be chronically exposed for the following decades? Potentially.
Wow.
Right? So therein lies the nature of the EPA cover-up. They tested the utilities' source water and declared it safe. But we've all seen the videos of contaminated creeks and ponds. How could that be? Right? And then he links to the same source from the Ohio government, EPA. So that we showed previously. So he says
Oh.
East Palestine Water, yeah, East Palestine Water Department uses groundwater. The aquifer hasn't been contaminated yet, but East Palestine's aquifer has no protective clay layer. It's an unconfined aquifer. Contaminants on the surface will eventually percolate down. They already are, he says. So what he's explaining there is the there's a difference between the confined aquifer and the unconfined aquifer, and really the water that's being used, it comes from the unconfined aquifer, so it's only a matter of time before the contaminants basically filter through the soil and make it to the water, right?
Yeah.
Can the municipal treatment plant handle the impending source contamination? He says, nah. Satellite photos suggest their setup is standard. There are two circular coagulation pools to remove large sediments. The bubbling vats look like chlorine ozone stage to remove bacteria. So here he's showing a picture of what looks like the municipal water purification system, coagulation and chlorination. So the coagulation step being used for removing large sediments and chlorination being used for basically disinfecting. He mentions ozone and chlorination to remove bacteria, right? So I guess that's what a water treatment plant looks like from above. He says, the northern poles look like carbon filtration for small residual particles. Takeaway, a high-end carbon filter removes most particles greater than 5 microns, but vinyl chloride molecules are 1 micron long.
Dang.
Once the aquifer is contaminated, that municipal supply will be too.
Dang.
Right. So then he goes on to explain how do we fix this. You can just scroll through this quickly.
Yeah.
Explain that they use 5 wells. The 5 wells that they were testing. There's no alternative to groundwater, so you got to keep the groundwater. Moving on, I believe he suggests. Then he talks about how much it would cost to actually set up infrastructure for that. Like a carbon filter with a finer filter, $35,000 annually. Yeah, most important upgrade is adding a reverse osmosis stage, $600,000 of just capital expenditure with nominal operational expenditure. So at a municipal level, that's the kind of investment you're looking at to reverse osmosis treat with reverse osmosis municipal water, right? 600 grand, right?
That is totally for a county or for a municipality. I mean, they should totally do this.
Yeah, I mean, government money, right? They're sending billions to Ukraine, billions to Ukraine. So
yeah, they could install many of these.
absolutely.
Yeah, these two upgrades are affordable, actionable, and sufficient. We should keep majority of villages drinking water safe. Small proportion of locals have private wells. No city water. Private wells are shallower. Will contaminate it faster.
Damn. Yeah. So another important caveat, right?
Yeah. It costs $350K to install RO at each of those. Total cost to protect the water supply for all of East Palestine, less than $1 million. Who will make it happen? EPA is unlikely since they deny the problem. Yeah, they're not going to fix where there's no problem. So they're saying right out of the bat, there's no problem. Safe water infrastructure. Most village has lead in its water. Dang. As lead soldering joints and valves, most of the downtown may use lead service lines. This poison should be overhauled. Lead. Yeah, lead poisoning, man. Wow. That's still a problem.
Yeah, and then he just goes on to explain how to fix the lead. I don't think we have to cover that. I mean, you get the gist.
Yeah.
With a couple $1 million, this problem could be, well, at least the water contamination could be mitigated for human consumption.
Yeah.
That's not entirely unrealistic to to say it could be feasible, right? For a whole
Yeah.
municipality, for a whole East Palestine community, and for federal emergency funds to be allocated to this, should there be a collective effort to push for that.
Yeah. Yes. And here, just wanted to kind of share this that I also saw just recently, kind of a quick timeline of the events. Um,
Oh, there you go.
see. Yeah, it's just basically this. On February 3rd, 38 train cars were derailed. February 5th, sign off plans to burn the chemicals. And then on February 6th, that's when everybody started finding out about, the vinyl chloride burning. And then February 15th, East Palestine holds town hall to address concerns of citizens. Norfolk Southern backs out. So, yeah, just kind of like that's just kind of like a quick summary, quick overview of what was going on here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I guess.
And I think this will be the last. It's just I think Tim Pool found a clip of some animals, but I have to share it differently.
Let me see. Where's that video at? There we go. Check this one out. I'm gonna play this clip for you guys, and
the cage,
let's talk
and
about it.
this is what I found.
Amanda Brashears was going to feed her 5 hens and rooster this morning when she discovered them all lifeless, practically in the same position, with no signs of a predator entering their enclosure.
I'm beyond upset and quite panicked because they may be just chickens, but they're family.
That's
Brashears
right.
says
Their family. This one.
Yeah. So again, just trying to show like a small video of what's animals dying, right? I know we already mentioned that right now. All these people, they can say all they want.
All available information out there online.
Yeah, people can say all they want. Sure, the drinking water safe. There's nothing's detected, nothing's happening. But you have a real world event and a real world cause of animals dying. So you can test all you want and you can spew out the numbers, whatever you want, but people are not gonna fall for this, right? Because it's real.
Yeah, they're lying by omission. Yeah, as that tweet thread explained, they're testing the water before it's actually contaminated.
Wow. Yeah. Yeah. So
yeah, it's like a matter of time.
It's a matter of time.
Yeah, and again, we've seen the creeks, right, and what the water looks like over there. So
yeah, it's worrisome, and it'd be great if people just stop poisoning the land, poisoning the food supply, poisoning everything, right? Normally on a day-to-day basis, we have to deal with agrochemicals, we have to deal with monocropping, pesticides, all that stuff.
Heavy metals, whatever they spray up in the sky.
Yeah. Everything. And now we have to also deal with these man-made disasters.
Yeah. Very suspicious disaster.
Yeah. So food, which what we focus on, food is the most critical right now. It's clearly under attack, whether by design or by accident, but people's food is getting poisoned.
Yeah,
Food,
I've even
food, water, and
used
air.
food, water, and air. That's right. So not really sure how you could tackle the food part other than move somewhere else if you're in near an area where you're affected, or not buy your food from near those regions. I mean, what are you gonna do, man? Um,
Yeah,
look for food sourced outside of the danger zone. How far is the danger zone? Really know.
yeah,
Uh, invest in a reverse osmosis water filter, and then I'd even go as far as saying might be interesting to look into like plants that you can grow that help purify the soil and purify the air. I know hemp is very popular for being like a cleanup crop,
yeah.
right? It's been said to have been grown in where was it? Where there was a nuclear reactor accident in Japan, I believe. Oh no, it was. I
Oh,
think they said they used hemp to like clean up. Um, I'm not sure if they said Hiroshima
yeah, yeah. I was gonna say
or
Hiroshima, Nagasaki. Was it one of those sites, or probably a different one? Potentially a different one.
I don't know. A quick search.
But yeah, that is an excellent question. Maybe our next episode should be like how hemp cleans the soil, right? I think that'd be
Yeah.
interesting. Because
Oh,
I know
okay. It was used for the Fukushima nuclear disaster.
Fukushima nuclear disaster.
What?
What?
Yeah, yeah, and I'd even go as far as saying like maybe having a few pots of these indoors to clean up your air quality.
Interesting.
Some people invest in like air filters and that sort of thing,
Hmm.
but as big animal-based food advocates, maybe it's time to start paying attention to how plants can be used as medicine or as remediators uh, for the environment, right?
Nice.
Within our means as just like consumers.
Yeah, I like it. I like it.
Yeah,
Uh,
not for food, not for food.
Not for food.
Feed them to the animals.
Yeah,
Don't feed them to the humans, because humans optimize for thriving on meat and fat. But hey, that's not to say plants are completely useless,
yeah.
right?
I like the idea of filtering the air of your house with plants.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
uh, yeah, we should cover hemp. Although that's not. Is it carnivore related? Is it well? It's more nature related, which is what we're gravitating towards.
Yeah. I mean, animal-based nutrition, fitness, and beyond, right? I mean, people want answers. There's only so many ways you can tell people to eat meat and lift weights. Of course, you can
Yeah,
talk about those things too.
yeah, yeah. That's the thing, right? It's like those are topics that we have like certainly mastered by this point, right? We walk the walk, talk the talk. We walk the talk, is what I mean. We're carnivore. We feel pretty good. We understand the benefits. We've pretty much optimized that. Uh, what else can we optimize? Is basically the question. How can we continue? I guess just approach nature until you
Approach
fully
nature,
integrate.
yeah. Yeah, none of this, bi- biohacking, whatever
Uh,
that means, eternal
just
optimization.
yeah. Buy this massive red lamp, artificial synthetic red lamp. Just blast yourself with it, and now you're gonna feel better.
Yeah, or worse, become a Ray Peter. Just
Yes.
have to throw that,
Oh,
Ray Peter. Uh, get that out of my system. The sugar copers.
oh yeah. I mean that's also a good one. You know, go, going after the repeaters. That's a good one too.
Yeah,
The
yeah. Well,
bioenergetics pro-metabolic. You can call it whatever you want. You're following a diet after someone's name. That's a red flag. Sorry, that's a red flag.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. But I think that's a good place to stop. Hit the hour and 10 mark.
Yes.
Should wrap it up.
Let's wrap it up.
Time to go have dinner.
Yeah. All right. Thanks everyone for watching. Really appreciate your time, your attention. Make sure to like, subscribe to this channel, follow us on Instagram, follow us on Twitter, follow us on here, YouTube and TikTok as well. And if you're interested in coaching, you can get in touch with us, email us, or DM us on Butterfield Fitness. You can also follow Butterfield Fitness and kind of watch our fitness content over there. And yeah, stay tuned for next time.
That's right. We'll be back tomorrow. We have a podcast with Future 4200, man who's living food sovereignty by himself, feeding himself and his family, while also running a successful cannabis business. He might be the person to talk to about hemp. We'll see.
Have a good night, everyone.
Have a good night. Peace.
Peace.
Gonna eat